violence in anti-government street protests in Ukraine, Venezuela and Thailand are dominating the news, with editors having to decide how much of that violence they should show us on the bulletins to inform us of what's really going on. Those judgments can prove controversial, as was demonstrated by the reaction to Jonathan Head's report from Bangkok, shown on Tuesday's News at 1. We're not going to show all the pictures some viewers found upsetting, but be warned we will be describing them after this.
The police tried to hold their ground, firing repeatedly with rubber bullets. Then this, a grenade arced into the police line, landing at their feet. One officer realised the danger.
What followed was described in an email by Sue Patterson. The police officer attempted to kick the grenade out of harm's way and in the process had his lower leg blown clean off. My objection was that the camera followed the leg through the air, watched it land, then panned back to the police officer on the ground with his leg missing from the knee down. It was horrific and no warning was given to say that some viewers may find it disturbing. Well, scores of other viewers contacted the BBC to make the same point, and I'm joined now by one of them, Susan Derham, who's in our Leicester studio. Susan, thank you for coming on Newswatch. What was your reaction to seeing that footage?
I was horrified. It was a wholly inappropriate scene, and I think had that been a British policeman on British streets, the world would have gone in uproar, and I just wondered what part of those images was considered acceptable for a lunchtime BBC News show.
If the BBC had given a warning before they showed that report, even at lunchtime, would that have made the difference for you?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think it should have been shown at all, and I think the moral filter of the BBC has let us down. That gentleman, the Thai policeman, has had a life-changing occurrence, and it should not have been shown so graphically. Whether there's a warning or not, it shouldn't have been shown.
Do you think there's an issue, which you sort of implied earlier, a kind of lack of sensitivity to someone when it's a foreign news story, when perhaps we would never have thought about showing footage like that about a British police officer?
You wouldn't have shown footage like that of a British police officer because the world would have gone into uproar. The fact that it's a foreign police officer, somehow, does that make it okay? I absolutely think it doesn't make it okay, and it should never ever have been shown, warning or not.
It's important though, isn't it, with some of these stories to see the reality of the violence. I mean, how do we avoid over-sanitising some of these situations?
I don't believe in any situation that showing violence in such manner is acceptable. You can cover a news story and you can show the lead up, you can speak about the violence that's happening, but please don't ever show images like that again. It was horrific and totally unnecessary.
There were some viewers who said we shouldn't even have shown the grenade landing in front before the explosion.
No, because it's too real. It's not Hollywood. The news isn't Hollywood, and putting images like that out on the news are portraying real life events as though it's Hollywood, and it's somehow less nasty. And like, news is a nasty business, and we don't need to see the reality of it, and we certainly don't need to see that man maimed.
Well, let me read you the statement that the BBC has provided in response to the dozens of complaints we've had. During a report on the anti-government protests in Thailand, a police officer was shown to kick a grenade that landed nearby. The footage that followed on screen showed one of his boots thrown into the air after the explosion. We acknowledge that this was not made clear in the report and that some viewers found the material distressing. We are therefore sorry that the footage was shown in this form at lunchtime and without a warning before the piece. A different version of the report was shown at other points of the day. What's your reaction to what they've said?
I can understand, and I'm grateful for the apology, but I still think that should never have been shown at all. And I think, like I said earlier, the moral filter of the BBC let us down. It should not have been shown.
Susan Derham, thank you.